Welcome.
Attention, please.
Welcome aboard.
Welcome to the No Comfort Zone podcast. It's time to get out of your comfort zone and live on purpose. Broadcasting to the world from Rockford, Illinois. This is your wake-up call.
Warning.
You are the solutions to all your problems. Stop thinking average. Become the hero version of yourself. Every day, every time, without fail, no exceptions. It all matters. You've entered the No Comfort Zone. It's time for a reality check.
Hey, it's Dan, and I'm back in the No Comfort Zone. Hope everybody's doing well out there in podcast land. Just wanted to take a moment to catch up with you and see how everybody's doing out there. Check it out. 4:55 a.m. wake-up call. 5 o'clock, getting involved in the exercise. 6 o'clock, getting yourself hydrated, doing all the, consuming all the calories you need to. Roughly 6:30, doing social media, doing some broadcasting or whatever, blogging, whatever you want to call it. And then about 7:30, I'm on my way off day job, where I'm going to be there for roughly the next 10 hours. It's an hour in and an hour out. I'm on the hour out. I've just finished the day, and I'm going to ask you a question. I want to ask you this. I don't know what book this comes from, and I'm not trying to say that I'm illiterate. I just don't know. I read a bunch of stuff, and I don't know where I got it from, but I think it was from Sun Tzu and the Art of War. The war doctrine for a lot of leaders have read it. It was huge in the 90s, maybe even in the 80s. It made a big surface appearance back then. But I'll tell you what. You go through your workday, whatever you do, it is whatever you do. And for whoever is listening out there, wherever you're from, I want to ask you a question. Whatever your routine is, your schedule, whatever it is that you do, I have a question. You went through the entire day. You did whatever it is you had to do. You did whatever it is that you want to do. And my hope is that they're the same. That's living. That's where you want to get to. I just want to remind you of that. And that's what the No Comfort's all about. Creating your ideal life and tying it into the things that you need and want to do. It all becomes the same. So every day, every minute, every moment is intentional. Are you with me on that? So here we find ourselves going through the day, in and out, minutes and moments. As we get to the end of the day, you look back and you realize this. A couple of concepts I want to throw your way. And I'll bring up that book that I just talked about. So what you have is this. Imagine if you had to record every single thing you did throughout the day and write it into a journal. And you do this day after day after day. You have to write it in permanent ink, and you can't erase it. And you write out whatever happened. The good, the bad, the ugly, everything, and the indifferent. It's all written out. Even you could write in there, if you want to get a little crazy with this concept, even your thoughts that you had. So your thoughts, your ideas, and your actions are all documented. And you do that every day, and you write that every single day. Right? You see where I'm going with this? You can't change anything. When it's done, it's done. Now you take that same information, and after years of writing into it, now you have to give that book that you wrote to your children. And you let them know, this is exactly how I want you to live your life. Would you want to give them the book? Or would you want to tear some pages out? Up until about 40, I'd want to tear almost every page out of that book. You don't get to where I got in life, depressed, miserable, anxious, lonely, destitute, broke. You don't get to that point without making a ton of very self-serving, really bad choices and then not handling them very well. And this is what I'm teaching people left and right is you're going to make bad choices, but rebound from them quick. Zero coping skills wound up where I was at. It wasn't until I got sober and was like around 40 or so that I decided to start living a much different life. That's where I can record in the book. I'm not perfect, but I could justify what I did, and I've always been trying to be better. And that's what I want for you. Now let's go back to that book for a minute. That book that I referenced, Sun Tzu and the Art of War. You should live every single day as if it were your last. Welcome to the No Comfort Zone. I'm having a conversation with my wife of all people this weekend, and she goes, since you've really started this thing in the last 2.5 years, like, you just don't take any day for granted. And I'm complimented by her saying that because she's right there with me. And I'm 180 degrees different from the way I was before. I was happy, I was fun, I was exciting, but not to this level. No way near on the same level now. I find myself to be much more appreciative and much more gratitude in my life. But the intensity level is, man, it's a lot different. I'm more focused on things that have an impact on my life in a positive way versus dwelling on things that affected me negatively in the past. You with me? I hope that makes sense, because it's my hope that while you're listening to this podcast, that maybe one of these podcasts that you're listening to might be just enough to wake you up and start sending you into the direction of the life that you really want, so that you can have more intensity. I'll just tell you this. I don't want to sound weird, but this whole thing, this whole change, food tastes better. Relationships all around are better. Communication with other people is better. Colors are better. Sleep is better. Waking up is better. It's all just better when you live with intensity and you get rid of all the emotional crap and drama and the chaos and the noise that you carry every single day, because you're just getting along. Because there's no urgency, because you think that tomorrow's going to come. But what if? What if this was your last day? Would you have lived it the same way? Absolutely not. Most people don't. Even I, living as intensely as I do, I would change a few things. And believe it or not, I probably would still go to work for a minute, because I want to see some things through. I want to spend more time in my relationship, specifically with my wife, not distracted. I want to spend a ton more time with my kids, and I want to be able to make that book that I would write them a little bit better by showing them that these are the moments in my life that I did spend the time with you. No cell phone, no drink in hand, no cigarette in my fingers, no talking to other adults. I spent it with you. I spent it with you, my child, my offspring, whatever you want to say. My son and my daughter. That was weird. And I had a moment recently where you've been listening to this for a while, even for a minute. You'll know that I've had a difficult time speaking with my kids. Quite frankly, they didn't want too much to do with me because they went through a lot through the divorce. They've made choices and decisions that, quite frankly, I didn't condone. And they've led lives that I didn't really necessarily think was too fitting for somebody their age to live. They made teenager mistakes. Now it's all time to move on. I had lunch with my son at a diner the other day, and it was great to see him. He looked healthy. He looked happy. He seemed to own his responsibility, working 2 jobs. Life's not easy for him, but he's not complaining about it. And it was great to see him. Kind of sad about it, because I know that my son doesn't need me anymore. He figured things out. It's all good. Time for him to go be a man and do his own thing. Maybe you think that's callous. I don't know. Truth is, I don't know what else to do. So I missed a lot of years with him, like 4 or 5 years with him, as he grew up and as he made his choices. And seeing him, the nice young man that was in front of me, good eye contact, 19 years old. He just turned 19, by the way. And he's off to do his things in his life, and I wish him the best. My daughter, going through a lot of struggles, but at least we're talking now. So life might be turning around, and I tell everybody that you go through adversity, whatever that might be. Adversity is me not talking to my kids on a regular basis. Certain things you just can't control. You just have to learn how to deal with it. You have to learn how my new concept at work is. You just have to work around it. Deal with it, but work around it. Don't let it stop you forever. So with that being said, I want to close on the podcast with this. If you need to learn how to live a more intense lifestyle, come on. Go to thenocomfortzone.com. Download the blueprint. If you're interested in connecting and you got some stuff you want to really deal with, because you have goals and life ambitions that you want to go, Dan at thenocomfortzone.com. It's directly to me. I'll work with you. I'll do my best. I'll start helping you achieve your goals and pointing you in the right path. But I do want to say this, and I have to say this in every podcast. Live every day as if it was your last. Write that book with a permanent marker. Live every day with intention. But more importantly, get out of your comfort zone and start living on purpose.
Say goodbye.
Want more of the No Comfort Zone? You can follow Dan on Instagram and Twitter at NoComfortZone1.
Bye.
Or on the web at thenocomfortzone.com.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to the No Comfort Zone podcast.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.